Hello and welcome to your speaking class. In today's class, we will analyse part 3 questions and answers. We will correctly use future time conditionals and we will prepare for speaking part 3 questions. You will need a pen or a pencil and a copybook. If you haven't got a pen or a pencil or a copybook, you can pause the video now and go and get them. And remember, you can pause the video at any time and you can rewind and listen to it again and again. Please try and complete all of the exercises. This is the schedule for today's class. We will listen to part 3 answers, then we will do some grammar work on future time conditionals, then we will look at pronunciation, and finally we will do some part 3 questions. Okay, so this is your first exercise. Remember, you can pause the video at any time so you can read through the questions. What we would like you to do is you have to match each answer, 1 to 5, with the corresponding question, A to E. So you are going to listen to 5 answers and you have to decide which of those questions, A, B, C, D or E, they are answering. Remember to write the answers in your copybook and you can pause the video at any time and go back and listen to the audio again. Okay, let's listen to the audio.
Track 8. Answer 1.
For a number of reasons. Often I think because they are exhausted. Capital cities in particular can be very demanding places to live. The noise, the traffic, the cost of living, and people often grow tired of all that. It's just too over the top for some. They start to feel drawn to the peace and quiet that rural life might be able to give them. Generally speaking, though, I do think that it's the case that younger people, people like me, are more drawn to that vibrant city lifestyle. As soon as you get older and have a family, you start thinking it's time to move.
Answer 2.
Well, one possibility that I can foresee is that buildings will keep getting taller and taller. This has been going on for some time, all over the world, and so many people now are moving to the city. Unless this changes, we're going to need more and more homes for everyone. We might even see a 500-story skyscraper one day. That might sound ridiculous now, but cities are likely to keep expanding at the rate they are currently. So there will be no other option that I can think of.
Answer 3.
Oh, I think that would be a bit of a disaster, to be honest. Insisting that everyone uses public transport could create more problems than currently exist. Fine, if you were just visiting the city, it probably wouldn't bother you too much. But if you were a resident there, then again, the streets would be safer for pedestrians. And it might do something about the levels of pollution. I do think it is bound to happen, to be honest. So, as long as people are happy to use buses and bikes instead of their cars, life will continue as normal.
Answer 4.
I can understand why people want a huge, old-fashioned house. In a similar way to living in the middle of the bright lights of the big city, there's something quite romantic about it. Having said that, I do think it depends on your age. Most people of my age, for example, prefer the idea of coming home to a smart, modern apartment every day, high up in the sky, overlooking the city. Well, it just sounds amazing. Providing I make enough money, I'll definitely be on a top floor myself one day.
Answer 5.
Well, in the old days, your whole life was in one place. You married someone from the same town, you had a job in the same village, and your family stayed around you. In some places, life is still like that. People only need to go next door or downstairs to see their parents, for example. But after people were given the opportunity to move around from one town to another, on trains or even aeroplanes, the traditional family unit started to change, I think. And people are now much more spread out. Not just nationally, but internationally. By the time I'm a grandparent, I think it will be even more different.
Okay, and here are the answers. So number 1 is D, number 2 is E, number 3 is A, number 4 is C, and number 5 is B. Okay, now we'd like you to complete the sentences with the correct future time phrases from the box. We have as long as soon as, by the time, providing that, and unless. And you have 5 sentences. Just pause the video and do the activity. Okay, have you done that? So here are the answers. Number 1 is for sentence A. As long as people are happy to use buses and bikes instead of their cars, life will continue as normal. Letter B is number 3, by the time. C is 4, providing that. D is 2, as soon as. And E is 5, unless. And you can go back and listen and check your answers with the audio file from the previous slide.
Track 9. A.
As long as people are happy to use buses and bikes instead of their cars, life will continue as normal.
B.
By the time I'm a grandparent, I think it will be even more different.
C.
Providing I make enough money, I'll definitely be on a top floor myself one day.
D.
As soon as you get older and have a family, you start thinking it's time to move.
E.
Unless this changes, we're going to need more and more homes for everyone.
Okay, now let's have a look at the pronunciation. What we'd like you to do is listen again and pay attention to how the speakers use the stress on certain syllables.
Track 9. A.
As long as people are happy to use buses and bikes instead of their cars, life will continue as normal.
B.
By the time I'm a grandparent, I think it will be even more different.
C.
Providing I make enough money, I'll definitely be on a top floor myself one day.
D.
As soon as you get older and have a family, you start thinking it's time to move.
E.
Unless this changes, we're going to need more and more homes for everyone.
Okay, so you can see how they use stress on certain syllables there to give more meaning and to make the speech a little bit more easier to understand for the listener. You can listen again and practice saying each sentence with the correct pronunciation. Just pause the video, rewind it, and then listen to it again. Okay, so in your online class on Microsoft Teams, we will start practicing the questions below. So you need to do some research for that between now and the time of your next class. You will answer one of the questions in class, at least one of the questions. Make sure you use the grammar, vocabulary and pronunciation we have talked about in this video. And here are the 3 questions that we've got. These are part 3 questions. So research them, do some research, find some good vocabulary, use some good grammar. Question number 1. Do you think that within the next 100 years we will be trying to build new cities on other planets? Question number 2. What would happen if the government put limits on how many people were allowed to live in big cities? And question number 3. Today, many young people move away from smaller towns to big cities. What effect does this have on these small towns? So practice those questions for homework, and then in your online class on Microsoft Teams, we will ask you those questions and you will answer them, and then I will give you some feedback. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can message me on Microsoft Teams or you can send me an email. Bye bye.